Hey guys, it's Carl, and welcome back to the finale of the gift guide series. This is the Baller Edition. This is the episode where we take a look at some of the best tech gifts without any budget. So typically these are more expensive things over that $200-300 mark. And usually on this list, these are items that you typically want to give yourself or someone really important, or if you just have a buttload of money, this episode is for you. And just like all those other episodes, in the finale, we are giving away one of the items that you see. So just be sure to sub to the channel, of course. Leave a comment down below with your Instagram handle. I'll be announcing all of the winners over there. If you do see someone spamming the comments asking to send you money for shipping, it is not me. I will only DM you on my verified channels. So just want to make that super clear. And this is one of the last episodes, I guess, for the year. So just so much thanks to everyone for putting up with my face. I just really can't believe we're at the end of another one. And hopefully in 2022, we will just keep crushing content. Let's get to the first baller item, which is in the smartphone range. So this year, my top 3 smartphones, iOS is really no surprise. We've got the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I typically go to the Pro Max model just for that extra battery life. For most people, I'd still recommend the 13, but if you have the extra money to go to the Pro or even Pro Max models, you get, of course, that 120 Hertz Pro Motion display, which makes it nice and quick, just like we've seen from the iPad Pro for, I think, over a year, close to 2 years now. Performance across both of these models is similar, and honestly, the extra camera of the portrait lens, I rarely use that. So yeah, just the standard 13, you know why I choose the Pro Max. And I will still handily say video quality on the iPhone is still the best across any smartphone. So that one kind of takes the cake for me this year. And of course, if you're in Team Apple, if you're invested into the ecosystem, if you've got a MacBook, if you've got AirPods, if you've got an Apple Watch, it kind of only makes sense to grab an iPhone. Over on Team Android, my 2 top faves, I will give that over to the Pixel 6 Pro. I think Google has done something really special this year, especially with their new in-house built silicone, the new Tensor chip. You get stock Android on a premium phone, and the camera quality, photo-wise, I can say, matches up to the iPhone. Google's computational photography is just so good. You've got the things like Magic Eraser and Motion, which makes the Pixel my kind of top pick. Maybe for other people, more of a wow factor, the Fold 3, or I guess the Samsung Galaxy Fold 3 is still a solid choice. Even though we've had folding display tech now for a couple years, there is still something so satisfying about having a screen like this. It definitely gets way more attention than either of these models just for that foldability. Same kind of thing with the iPhone. If you are in the Samsung ecosystem, the Fold 3 is my top pick. And I think if you get any of these phones, you cannot go wrong. I will say though, the camera on the Fold 3 is definitely a notch lower than the other 2. So just kind of keep that one in mind. And just keep in mind, because we are on the Baller Edition, all of these phones are around that $1,000 mark. I think the Pixel 6 Pro is the only one just underneath, but if you get the 13 Pro Max with a higher storage option, you are easily pushing that $1,200 mark. In Canada, that translates close to $1,700 before tax. So get your wallets ready. Let's get to some of the next items. Moving on to the ultimate home tech gift, and we've got one on the list today, and I feel like this has been super useful, especially all of our time at home. I spend way more time in the studio at home. We've got our boy Link, who just turned 1 year old actually just around this time. This is the Deebot N8 Pro Plus robot vacuum. This guy has been super handy keeping my studio clean, and typically I turn this on when I leave for the day, and when I come back, a lot of the little footprints and all the little debris that Link usually brings in, even myself, as it is winter now, bringing in a bit more mud, a bit more slush. In Toronto, our weather is pretty crappy. And it has a maximum suction power of 2600 PA, so great for removing dirt and dust that's really stuck into floor crevices. It's got an all-new fan motor design and uses glass fiber materials to help optimize energy and ensure the pressure durability while keeping the volume of the vacuum down. What's great about the N8 Plus Pro, it has something called True Detect 3D, and really useful as in my studio. It's kind of littered with, cables, a lot of little things that lie in the floor. It can help obviously detect them and avoid them. You can also set no-go zones in the app, which is really useful, just in case you do have areas around the house where you don't want the vacuum to go. And that uses an advanced laser-based LiDAR navigation system that maps with 2 times the coverage and 4 times the precision of previous mapping technology. The N8 Pro Plus also has the mopping function, and that's something I feel super underrated for robot vacuums, instead of just picking up, the debris, it actually gives your floor a deep clean. And even with the mopping function, I'm pretty lucky because I don't have carpets here in my studio, but for everyone else that does have them, it does have ultrasonic sensors to avoid carpets when mopping hardwood floors. And unlike most other robot vacuums, which I find have a messy drip system and leave the floor too wet when mopping, the N8 Pro Plus has a micro water pump to avoid leaks, and you can actually choose the level of water flow. There's 4 different levels, and you can kind of adjust them to fit your needs. And in the corner of my studio, that's where I have the auto empty station, and that not only charges the vacuum, it kind of gets rid of all the debris it picks up for that cycle. And you can get around 110 minutes or close to 2 hours on a single charge, and you can cover around 2,000 square feet before it has to return back to the docking station. And just like most home tech, you can integrate this into your smart home arsenal, so you can use your voice for hands-free control, either through Google Assistant or through Alexa. You'll just have to say the simple words, "Hey Google, ask Dbot to start cleaning." Sorry if I activated anyone's Google Home Assistant back at home. I've had this vacuum now for just over a month, and I still haven't had to clean out the docking station over there. So super great if you are someone into home tech, want to free up a bit more time for your life. Who loves cleaning? Let a vacuum take care of it. The N8 Pro Plus is definitely on my gift list. TV options, or I guess my favorite ones, that's actually something that I can't show on this desk because they're so large. This is the C1 LG OLED. And I think I've had every single sizing option of the C1, all the way from 65 to 75 to the largest, which is 83 inches. And the thing that I can't wait for next is till they make that 100-inch OLED, then I can actually replace my 4K projector at home as the main cinema TV that I watch. In terms of picture quality, it's really tough to beat an OLED. So you have these super deep contrast ratios, really dark and rich blacks. Most of these OLED TVs now can take full advantage of next-gen gaming. So if you've managed to snag a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, which is coming up later in this episode, you can take full advantage of those high frame rates, 4K at 120. I feel like at that price point, it's really tough to recommend anything else. I feel like OLEDs are one of those pieces of tech, once you've used it, so say you've watched a movie, you've done any gaming, you've immersed yourself in that OLED experience, it's hard to go back to anything else. So as long as you can afford to get into it, as long as the person on your gift wish list can get it, they won't hate it, they'll love it, and you definitely won't be disappointed. So on to the next thing, like I mentioned, next-gen consoles. If you manage to snag one, I know with all the GPU and chip shortages, even a year later, they're still hard to get, but the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. And typically for next-gen consoles, I always recommend to wait a year for them to kind of mature, so actual games designed for the actual next-gen consoles are coming out, and that's what's happening for, Team Xbox. The next Halo Infinite is coming, and that is, the game of the year. I'm a big Xbox fan, big Halo guy, so, cannot wait to play that. I did just check out the launch of the new Forza Horizon 5 game. I was actually at the Xbox launch here in Canada, where we kind of crushed through a dune buggy and smashed through pinatas. Was a ton of fun. Over on PlayStation, I can't be too biased. I do think there are a higher percentage of you that like PlayStation, but I know PS5 exclusives like God of War, Spider-Man, those are really fan favorites. So whichever poison you decide, if you can snag one, once again, with the chip shortages, these will be great gifts. Next off in the gaming theme, not as expensive as an actual console, but still pretty baller. You need to spend $150-ish, are custom controllers. So I know that Xbox came out with their new design lab for their next-gen controllers, but this one for my PS5 controller, this is from a company called Hex. As you can see, fully customizable. I had to, snag mine all in orange. You've even got some of the little triggers on the back for first-person shooter games. I do think giving custom tech, especially as a gift, is a lot more thoughtful. You kind of know the person. If someone were to get me a custom, orange controller, I'd be super stoked. So for whoever is on your gift list, if you kind of know them a bit better, going custom is always a solid option. Moving on to laptop recommendations, and I think this is no surprise. In the Baller Edition, we had to have the new 16-inch, or I guess even 14-inch MacBook Pro with either the M1 Pro or M1 Max chip. This thing is just an absolute powerhouse, and for me, this is the laptop of the year. Once again, super, super expensive. I believe fully spec'd out, it's around 7,000 bucks depending on where you live, but kind of a game changer in terms of performance. The M1 Max, I just kind of can't speak highly enough about it. It crunches through my 4K footage like absolute butter. I still have not had the fan ramp up. Mind you, I can't probably tax this enough. I'm not managing 6 timelines of 8K footage. It is 100% way too overkill for anything that I do here on YouTube, but if you need a device that can handle everything that you throw at it and more, it doesn't throttle, it never gets hot. Battery life, which is another reason why I grabbed the 16-inch versus the 14, is another huge reason. I have never needed to bring my charging cable when I use it for the day. I know it will easily last and even get into that day and a half. Such a huge game changer, and like I said, laptop of the year for me. Once again, if you can afford one. And what I do love, the 14-inch model, you can spec it with the highest silicon with the M1 Max chip, and the only difference will literally be the size and the battery. Over onto my favorite Windows device, I gotta show you guys some love as well. By far, it is the Microsoft Surface Laptop Studio. Definitely gotta give Microsoft and Windows some love, and I love the design form factor of this. So it kind of flips into an all-in-one, so it acts as a standard laptop. You can kind of flip it into little tent mode to watch content, and you can actually swivel this all the way down into a fully functional tablet. The bump up to Windows 11 has been a really big upgrade, and what I love, it has a brand new UI. It actually reminds me a lot of Mac OS. You've got the taskbar on the bottom. Multitasking and managing workflows with Snap is a lot better, and say you are in the Premiere space, you can still only go Windows. Yeah, a solid option, and of course the benefit of PC. Gaming on a PC crushes everything on a Mac. So yeah, if you are team PC, let me know. This is a beautiful app. And yeah, that kind of ends off the Baller Edition. My one last piece has to be Lego. I know that it's not tech related, but this is the gift that I'm eyeing myself. I guess not this guy. It's actually the new AT-AT Walker. It's the Ultimate Collector Series edition. It's massive. It'll actually rival the Starship Destroyer, which I have behind me. As so many of you guys know, I am the biggest Lego fan, especially the Star Wars sets. So yeah, that is kind of my gift to myself for this year. I believe it comes out in January, so maybe I'll have a late Christmas gift, but it's pricey. $800 for a Lego build, but yeah, I definitely geek out about that kind of stuff. That is the end of the episode. That is the finale of the gift guide series. So once again, thanks for everyone for watching all of these series numbers. I believe we had 3 to 4 episodes this year, so slightly lower, but yeah, it's been super crazy, super hectic this year, Techtober. Just crushed my soul. It was really hectic, and I did have a bit of traveling. I got engaged, Link turned 1, house designs. Yeah, it's been just a very hectic year. So just saying thanks to everyone that's watched any of these episodes, and like I said, the giveaway for this and all the other tech gift guide series is just my way of giving back to you guys. So remember, one comment down below, follow here, or I guess subscribe here, follow along on Instagram, and yeah, happy holidays, guys. We'll catch the rest of you in one of my next vids. Peace!